Jalen, who's been here 5 years, stayed loyal, was having great years. Just how do you help her get through that?
You give her the opportunity to win something else. You give her the opportunity to continue to play and put herself in a position to be able to go play overseas or in the States.
Just describe Sunday, watching the show, how it felt, how the girls reacted.
It was probably the most painful moment that I've been in with a team as we sat there and watched and whatnot. And then once they were finished, we kind of turned the television off and I walked forward and walked backwards, walked forward, because I wasn't prepared for that. And then you just speak from the heart and let them know that we feel your pain and we understand. We did everything that we thought we were capable of doing to get there. And I've since spoken to several people that kind of explained that it was our non-competitive preseason, but gave kudos to us for scheduling the way we did because the girls had to learn how to win. After last season, we didn't win enough and they didn't understand. And so you just have to go back and say, okay, let's grind this through and figure out how to get the right competition, which honestly, scheduling is the hardest part of the job because you don't know how good a team's going to be. You don't know what a team will get or lose because of the transfer portal. And so one of the stats that is used is KPI, and KP told the Big 12 conference last year to wait as long as you can to schedule. And I'm like, whew, that was brutal. It was painful sitting there trying to wait and see and the right team and look at the rosters and stuff like that. So that's all I can do is go back and try to put us in the right position. And I found out that winning on the road is better than winning at home, and winning at a neutral site is better than winning at home. I learned that.
KPI, especially when you look at it, it considers margin of victory. I didn't know if that sets or points. I'm not sure which. And then, some things that RPI doesn't. How much do you think you'll look at that going forward as compared to RPI?
Well, I'm going to look at all of it. I think there's another one called Massey. I was told about that one as well. And what I want to understand is why is there such a drastic discrepancy between it? Because the RPI takes in consideration winning on the road and at home and whatnot. And so all of them are just opportunities for the committee to use to get their data. And the key is to put ourselves in a position where we're not in that position again.
They talk about non-conference strength of the schedule, but then you see teams who didn't play in or out of conference, didn't have top 25 RPI games, let alone wins.
I said that too.
So when you think about that, why do you think they put so much? Is it because you have the choice in non-conference that they're putting so much stress on that versus what you did in conference where you're playing all those games against top 25s?
In theory, you have a choice, but in some situations, you don't have a choice. Some people can't play far away, or some people can't get invited to the right tournaments, or, so it's just a metrics that they use, and it's the safe bet because they were never going to go back and say, I messed up or I made the wrong decision. Not that I would expect them to do that either. So you just listen to what they say, and you put yourself in a position to, once again, not be in that position.
Have the same home tournaments year to year. Did you schedule those differently this year than maybe you guys have in the past in terms of competition?
No, because probably for the last 4 or 5 years, we've played New Mexico State, who typically win, their tournament and get into the NCAA tournament. I think the fact that we play Alabama State, who normally wins their conference, and so at the end of the day, we didn't play anyone that was in the top 50, whereas last year I thought we actually scheduled well. That was a good scheduling, but we didn't win. And then it took us a long time to, if any time, to figure out how to win. And so there was pieces of it that I would do all over again, just because it's about your team. It's not necessarily about getting to the tournament, but it is about getting to the tournament at the end of the day because that's how I keep my job and, win and things like that. But our kids didn't know how to win. They were fragile. And if I had started off the year this year doing what we did last year, we would have spiraled still. Even though our freshman class and Kiari coming in here was phenomenal for us, they just needed to understand that they can win and what it looks like to win.
Obviously, still not the outcome that you wanted, but can you talk about some of the positives of still having a very successful season?
Well, we had a 20-win season. I mean, Kim is like my little walking person of all the knowledge that we have, and we haven't done that in a while. And, 7-game win streak, haven't had that since 2001. So I'm super excited that we're getting the opportunity to play. We have the opportunity to play 4 more matches, and what are we going to do with that? And so I never sit back and, oh, okay, I was waddling on Sunday. But after Sunday, you don't sit back and you don't feel sorry for yourself, because there was a reason why it didn't happen, and there's a reason why we're in this position to make great things still happen. So what we do with it is most important at this point.
What did you learn about this tournament going through it a few years ago?
What did I learn about this tournament? That you have to be ready to play. You can't take any team for granted, because everyone's going in with the same mindset. We should have been there, or we want to get there, or we want to get reps from our other players. This, to me, is just it's a tournament that I want us to win.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about what you said to your players on Sunday?
Well, I walked forward, I walked backwards, I walked forward, I turned to look at my husband, and he gave me no words of wisdom or hugs or anything like that. I'm laughing. And then I said, clearly, this is not the outcome that we wanted, that we were expecting. I know it hurts. I'm hurting. I don't think I said that, but clearly I think everyone knew that I was hurting. And it's a matter of now, what are we going to do with this? This can be something that brings us together, or this can be something that divides us. And every opportunity is an opportunity to get better. So, I don't remember verbatim what I said, but that was the gist of it.
Did you know right away you were going to take the other opportunity to the other tournament, or did that come in hours after that?
Well, you have to work on it in advance. So it was something that we were preparing ourselves for if we didn't get into the NCAA tournament. And the reason why it's important to prepare for it is because you have to prepare the team for set 5. So at the end of the day, we made it to set 5. That's what we wanted to do. That was our goal all year long. And if you ever pause or you give them a voice in it or things like that, then feelings and emotions come into play. So we had to prepare ourselves so that we were able to be a part of it.
And last time you guys played in it, it was also a young team, and that's why Dave said he played that year. But how is it also important to give your seniors, something after the disappointment?
This group of kids is fun. I know I've been around a lot of teams, and each team is special for various reasons, but this group I feel like they're my kids, even though some of them were here when, Dave was here and whatnot. But I want to give them every opportunity to be successful and be good. Elena wants to play professional, so you put her in a position to do that. Tori's going into the working world, and, she'll probably play for fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course, you want to extend that as long as you can. And, Haven maybe she'll come back. I don't know the answer to that question just yet. But you want to put all of the players, Amanda, put them in a situation where they can be happy, that they walk away and say, I won something. I've accomplished the things that I set out to do, and that's to be the best. And so it's split between that and getting the reps for your young kids and the experience, so that you don't have to necessarily take preseason to teach them how to win. You keep riding this pony as long as you can and win out type thing.
If 4 more games, you have a chance at a 11 match win streak. That's other than the non-conference, it's been a while too. So, all those milestones, what have you seen them mean to the players?
I don't know that they know as much as we think they know about that, but they'll say, I said this earlier when Avery was like, hey, Rita, how does it feel to win more games than you did last year? Or, hey, Rita, Carly was like, Rita, how's it feel to win 20 matches? And so that to me is exciting because they pay attention to that. But the records and ins and outs of the season, they have no idea. Like I had to tell Carly the other day that I was the first player in Arizona history to score, get 300 kills, 300 digs, and 100 blocks in the game. She goes, what? You dug balls? Yes, ma'am. I was playing all the way around. And so they don't really know. And she was like, but you're a middle. I was like, yeah, but I had to play all the way around. Or I got to, however you look at it.
Did they even understand what the game was before the libero and rally?
They don't have a clue. No. So now, at the beginning of practice, I'll go out there and serve, and it's like, oh, I aced you. Or they'll serve a ball, and it's like, okay, I could pass that ball at my age now. And I was like, no, you can't. And so it becomes a banner back and forth, which is fun. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.